then I can also start recording. Okay, cool. So, welcome to this very, very unorthodox book read, if you want to call it. Though I don't know how much of a book read it's going to be. On the book Beyond the Utopian Ideal by Gary Douglas, the awesome guy. God, I'm so grateful to him. And all the people in my life who brought me to Access, who gave me all the wonderful classes, and who eventually brought me to this book.
I did.
Hi, who?
The first class you did with Kamal Basoor.
Yes. First class was with Kamal Basoor, then it was with Ratandeep Singh, and
He also came because of me. He also came because of me.
Absolutely. So thank you so much. Kamal Basoor, an official thank you and immense gratitude and a big hug to you.
Love you.
All right. So getting official now. Okay. So what does a utopian ideal mean to you? Like when you heard about the utopian ideal, what showed up for you? Like I shared on the event page, I did a little research on what utopia is. And did you guys read what I had written about utopia?
No.
Okay, so I Googled it, and utopia is, in Greek, means no place. Utopia is like no place. It's an island, it's a fictional island that exists somewhere in the Atlantic Ocean and was created by some novelist called Thomas More for his book called Utopia. And it actually means no place. It's a fictional place where people live and or were supposed to live, where everything was perfect. Everything was expected to be done in the most precise, perfect way. You know, that was utopia. So, I mean, and what is an ideal? What is an ideal? I'm sure you guys know what an ideal is, but never really, but nobody ever asked you what do you think an ideal is?
Never found
No. I remember when we were kids, we were asked, all right, who's your ideal? Who do you want to be like? Was it just me, or were you guys also asked that question?
But I could never be any
mom. I have to be the ideal mom because I have to set the right examples. I have to be an ideal person that they can look up to. Oh shit.
Yeah.
But I could not find anybody good enough to be my ideal. I don't know if it was right or wrong or good or bad. Frankly speaking, I looked up to anyone कि ऐसे सी मैं बन जाऊँ.
Okay. But like when
you find that your ideal has clay feet was very disappointing.
Sorry, what?
And then if you did ever have an ideal when you were young, and then to find that that particular ideal had clay feet was quite disappointing.
Yeah. I don't know about that because even I found it very... we were asked that when we were supposed to write essays in English. I remember. And I never had, like Malvika saying, I never could find anyone or want to read up on anyone, because the only way to write about them was to read up about them, then to find the qualities that you like best and to reproduce them and then to be like them. Was like too much effort. Sorry, not doing it.
One person.
Sorry?
There was never one person that you liked in entirety that you wanted to be like or do like. You always wanted to get the best of what you appreciated at that moment in your life.
Yeah.
It's your journey. Like when you were studying, you wanted the best characteristics of what would get you the kind of job you wanted to be in or the place you wanted to be in, and it was ever changing.
Yeah.
It never was a constant.
Yeah. So basically you're saying that you would look at different things in different people that even if you didn't think were ideal, either they were projected on you or you just somehow, decided that this is the best way to be. Probably this is what I want to do or be like.
No, I don't think it was projected or it is what I would like to be like. It was more like you admire them in that person.
Yeah, all right. That's interesting.
So when you admire somebody, you kind of don't want to you don't want to ape them or be like them, but you appreciate it. Okay, fine, this person, hota nahi hai, when you are struggling with something, like they say success is counted sweetest by those who don't succeed. So if you're struggling somewhere and you find somebody doing exactly what you really want to do in your heart, you start appreciating it. They don't become your ideal, but whatever they've done seems fascinating to you at that point.
Yeah.
Then it goes away. And then something else comes about.
But does it really go away?
Yes, it does.
Are you sure? Because
I'm confident it goes away. Because
right.
I remember my school mein hoti thi, because hota tha, oh, I don't want to make decisions. I want to be a housewife. For the longest time, my mom's memories are, I used to say I used to want to get married to a Sardar family. And so all of this, it was just momentary. बस आज ही अच्छा लग रहा है, सोने लग रहे हैं बस, सभी ये करना है. Now it's gone. Once you ask me, like so many years back also, mine was a love marriage. अब ऐसा नहीं लगा कि भाई ऐसे से ही love करना है. Those are all momentary. उस time अच्छा लगा.
Yeah, but I think more than momentary.
की कह रहे हो तुसी?
लेकिन लव कभी हुआ भी था कि ऐसे खुश पे भी अपना टाइम वेस्ट कर दिया लड़की.
फिर अब जो भी हो गया, अब तो हो गया ना. अब तो 19 साल हो गए ऐसे लव में.
हाँ. So that's also what he says, that when you're so also he quotes an example of ये जो अभी relationship की बात हो रही है, जैसे how you entered into marriage. It's like probably that was a time when you were being you, actually, when you didn't have the need of another person in your life. There was no desire, you just had peace with yourself, and then probably one fine day somebody walks along and you say, all right, I'm going to get into this relationship, and then slowly start giving up a little bit of yourself to please this person or please that person. And then that's what happened with me, I guess. And then becoming the ideal bahu. So nobody ever told me what an ideal bahu would be, but yeah, I made all the efforts to please my in-laws, to please each and everyone, and every day it was put across that the girl has to adjust and you have to please everyone. So I'm saying it does not have to be like a pre-decided thing that when you're growing up and the ideal. But if you actually start looking at when you start doing something, or when you're on a particular path and you seem to fade away, where you don't exist anymore, after a certain point of time, I realized that where am I? When I'm doing this, I'm trying to please this person. When I'm doing this, I'm trying to please this person. When I'm doing this, then another. And by the end of the day, where am I? What did I do for myself? True. So without realizing, if I fade away, if I disappear and I'm not there in the picture, in my own reality, then how many utopian idols have I included, which I don't even realize that I have included. Sorry, Renu, you were saying something. Go ahead.
I was just thinking of, I don't know about the ideal that was in my life or the ideals that were around me. It was the target or the ideal that I had set for myself. So that was very disturbing, because it was a high package to reach. I always felt that. So somewhere it's like he talks in the book also. It's somewhere like more like the image that I want to portray, or the image that I have decided myself. Images like that. In fact, when I was reading it, I was thinking of the previous workshops we used to do, and there was one round in which everyone had to talk about their self-image. And then I realized, my God, we've been doing this all our lives. We've been I'm talking from my experience, me. I have been creating an image for myself that I need to stick to, that has stuck to me, that I need to reach. So, like you just said that, yeah, in that the actual me was just fading away. The actual me was not there, because I had pre-decided that I need to portray such and such picture, or I need to be such and such person. And in that, like you just said, to fit into, or to be appreciated, to find appreciation, to find maybe acceptance. So when I was reading that today, I was just thinking that I don't know about the other ideals, but the stupid things that I created for myself in my life. That I have to be a such and such person, I have to look like this, I have to behave like this, I have to do this, just because. And yes, it divorced me totally from the me that I was, the me that I am.
Yeah, so that's exactly what you're talking about in the sense when Rinku was saying that no, it comes and when you were saying Rinku that it comes momentarily and then it goes away. The question that he in the sense that he says that if we start also, I don't know how this is connected right now in the conversation. Let's see how this fits in. But when we start also, okay, let's look at it from another perspective in the sense that what are the things that we think we don't have? So one was the angle of where we were saying that let's keep that in one place, that when we disappear in our lives and we don't even realize that that's happening, and suddenly you're like, oh, what the hell am I doing? Those are the kind of questions that come up. Do I really belong here? Do I really want to do this? You know, is the time when you start to question, all right, what the hell am I doing? Is this the reality that I wanted to create really? And then we start looking at, okay, what utopian ideals am I following here? Or what is the ideal that I thought I'm following? And another thing that he talks about is the fact that when we start looking at things that we don't have, instead of valuing what we have, and how Renu, you were saying, instead of looking at it as a wrongness, like, you know, like how we say, oh, this is the stupid thing that I did, or stupid thing what if we looked at it from an awareness of, oh, I chose that, and instead of going into the because or the regret, the distraction plans, what would I choose now? If I was really being the infinite me, what would I choose now? The questions, instead of going into the regret, blame, shame, and everything. Also looking at, all right, what is it that I don't have, that I value so much because I don't have it? Like, even for access classes, he says, everyone has their own pace. So what had started happening with me was that I would look at people choosing these classes and I would say, oh, I'm not choosing enough. I'm not doing this enough. Maybe I should have done that too. Why can't I step out of the house? Why can't I leave my family and go? Why does everything trap me? And then I would start feeling trapped. So what are the places where you're actually feeling trapped and that are not allowing you to choose, where you're going into a judgment of yourself? Why am I not doing this? Why am I not doing that? Or there's something stupid about me, or there's something wrong about me that I'm not doing it. What are those places? And is it coming from a sense of, I should have had that, but I don't have it?
Yeah, but he says in the book, no, those are the places where that are constructs that are not you, that you constructed for yourself out of these, you know, what you believe should be right, or what you believe is right.
Yeah, so those are the utopian ideals. Those are the ideals that he says that either have been, wherever they've come from, is again not for us to question. Am I doing this? All right. Is it working for me? No. All right. What else can I choose now? So instead of functioning from judgment of yourself or the wrongness of yourself, where you're trying to fit into the reality, or you're trying to see someone else doing something and wondering why you're not doing enough, or you're valuing something that you don't have right now, but wished you have, and in that whole process, not. So he tells of a beautiful story right at the beginning of the book. There's a beautiful story which he talks about. So he says that there was this golden planet. I think the first chapter is also available for free on Kindle, which you guys can actually read. It's beautiful. He says that there was a golden planet, and he says it's history. You know, it's not. People think it's a novel and it's a story, but it's not. And he said there was a sense of communion that does not exist on planet Earth, where we had a total sense of oneness with every molecular structure that existed. He says we didn't have machines, and we didn't have motor cars, and we didn't have all of those things, but we were in total communion and oneness with everything. There was no desire, there was no need, there was no sense of lack. But then what happened is that from a place called Utopia, he says some techies arrived. Okay, so now you're a techie, by the way. Sorry, do you belong to
but yes.
And these guys had some flashy technology, and they started, creating an image there which the people on the golden planet had never seen. So what started happening was, once they started seeing this, they started thinking that these techies from Utopia had something greater than what the people on the golden planet had. And in doing so, they also said that, if we had to go from one place to another, we could just think it and we could be there. If we desired something, it would be at our door. We did not need these things. It's like us being able to communicate telepathically. Would we need WhatsApp, and would we need smartphones, and would we need all of this technology? It was like that. But he said once we started seeing what these, like, it's now, imagine the ad world coming in, trying to tell you how wrong you are, how bad you are, how ugly you are, so you need to buy this particular cream. You're dark, so you need to put on a fair and lovely cream, or something else, all of those things that they sell. And how they brand things, you need to eat this is the good diet. So all of that started happening, if you can imagine it better that way. And these guys started thinking that this is something greater than what we have. And what they started doing was they started valuing all of this technology, all of the things, the flashy things that the techies were showing them. And they thought that that was greater than the communion and oneness these people had. And why? Because these guys didn't have that technology. How much sense does that make? Yeah. So he said we bought into the notion that ideals were going to take us beyond the communion and the oneness we already had. All right. But a utopian ideal has nothing to do with what is. So the communion is what they had. But when they were looking at the ideal that they did not have, then they started looking at what could be rather than what is. So how many places are we looking at what should have been, or what could have been, or what could be, rather than what is and what we have? And everything that does not allow us to know, we perceive and receive what we have and totally value it for who we are and what that is as a gift to us and the infinite beings that we are, will be destroyed and created.
Yes, please.
Right or wrong, good and bad, POD and POC, all nine shorts, boys and beyonds. So what exactly is a utopian ideal? Is just a construct. It's an idea that something could be better than what it is. Or you could have had something that you don't have. But is it a substitute for true awareness or true choice? Is my question to you. Is it making sense?
It is.
So how many places have we made these constructs, these ideals of what my life should look like, of what my body should look like, of what kind of a family I should have, of how much money I should have, or what I should be doing or not doing, who I should be talking, and so many others. What are these? Are they even mine? So those are the constructs that we are actually leading our life from, and then can we actually create from there? That ideal, is that yours? And if it's not yours, then how can you create from there? How can you choose to create from that space of the infiniteness that you truly are, the energy, space, and consciousness, the gift that you truly be? That is what he talks about in the whole book, in different ways of how body, family. So please ask a question, because I'm just going to go on talking. If you're enjoying yourself, great. Otherwise, ask a question.
Go on.
So everywhere you have misidentified and misapplied utopian possibility as true choice. I will just tell you what utopian possibility is, if you haven't guessed it already. So everywhere you have misidentified and misapplied utopian possibility as true choice, will you destroy and create?
Yes, please.
Right, wrong, good, bad, POD, POC, online shows, boys and beyond. So what I was just talking about, if you're choosing from a utopian ideal, would you actually create true possibility and true choice, or would you just create a utopian possibility which is never really going to show up?
Yeah.
And then we say, oh, nothing's shifting, nothing's happening. But and this is also one thing that I've been playing with for some time now, since I started talking about the class that we did online, which was the magic, what was it called? The magic of being or something. I don't remember the name, but are you actually choosing from the true source of creation, which is you, which is the energy, space, and consciousness that you be? Not from, and this is that missing link that I got now, is that are you actually choosing from utopian choice, or are you choosing from true choice? Are you choosing the utopian ideal, or are you choosing in every 10 seconds that could change?
So
You
when
could
you
change
get,
your choice every 10 seconds, right? But if you're choosing from a utopian possibility, then what happens? Wouldn't you just lock that thing in and try to be that? So what, all right. So let's talk about,
My weight.
sorry?
Let's talk about
Sorry.
my weight. Because
Your,
that, my weight.
all
And
right.
when we're talking about the ideal image or the
Yeah,
ideal body, I'm already in judgment. If I'm
correct.
doing clearings to lose weight, I'm already in judgment. If I'm doing clearings to slim down, if I'm doing clearings so that I can eat the right stuff, I'm already in judgment.
Yeah,
And this construct, this realities construct is there to create that for you, because every magazine you pick up, every ad you see, every serial you see, there's a lovely hourglass figure there, you know. So when the image of a perfect body has been created as a construct by this reality, and everything we are doing, everything I was doing or I am doing was to get that utopian figure, you know, which probably even on those magazines is not really the real one. It's probably been photoshopped, you know. So
it has
where am
crushed.
I going into? Where am I going into the wrongness of this beautiful body that I have? You know, it's not only the utopian ideal that is in my own head, it's what the whole reality is bombarding at me from all corners. The
Yeah.
media, the society, the, you know, the clothes, there are no clothes made for people who are plus size. You don't get good clothes for plus size people. So somewhere,
No,
as
by the way, they
as
created a whole industry around that now. I'm sorry.
yeah, yeah, the color is, you should wear the if your tongue is showing, then you go get yourself those belts or whatever they are, those what do you call them, those
Yeah, yeah.
tighteners or those whatever, you know,
Body shapers.
body shapers. And it reminds me of when I was reading Gone with the Wind, there was these young girls who had to be strapped into their
Yeah.
bodices,
Yeah.
you know, and actually women would, you know, the people who were dressing them would put their foot on their back and pull the straps or the laces so that they can be tied up in that, you know,
Yeah, they said
Victorian.
Cinderella, the animated Cinderella movie had it.
Yeah,
So
so
I
no,
feels
I'm
good
talking
for
about Gone with the Wind. There was a image that got stuck in my head that, you know, you have to be tightened into it. Now somewhere all this has been ingrained and entrained in our heads as well. So when we talk about utopian ideals, it's not only not only me which has created an ideal figure for myself. It's like what's been bombarded at me from childhood, you know. So when I was reading this, I was feeling, my God, what all do we buy into, you know?
Yeah.
So
Yeah, but what if you could ask that question not from a sense of wrongness,
yeah,
now from a sense of awareness that, all right, how cool am I? I've been choosing that. For what reason? Is it working for me? No,
I
now I like to choose.
I know, I
It's
know, it's
so,
been getting better ever since I stopped focusing on it now.
yeah.
I
But
have a
yeah, I'm just
question.
going into thinking that where all have we bought all this from, you know?
Yeah.
So
But what we,
when we're talking about relationships, it's also diversing parts of my body to maintain a relationship with myself. I'm not talking about relationships with other people, or husbands or children or sisters or siblings or whatever. I'm talking about my own relationship with my body. I've actually divorced either parts of myself or parts of my body so that I can fit into the image that is being created, the utopian image that has been created.
yeah.
So this is just one example. I don't know where all we do this.
How to do this? What do you mean by this? What you just said? How are you this thing with your body fit into the image of the brother, sister, husband, wife, Allah?
No, I'm talking about relationship with so many people. We talk about how we cut ourselves to fit into the relationships. Like Shweta was saying that when I want that relationship to work, I start pleasing people. I start doing what things that other people want me to do, and in the process, I don't even ask myself whether I really want to do it or not. So I was sort of comparing that with my body, that my own relationship with my body. I have actually cut away parts of myself, you know, by judgments, by being angry with myself for eating more or for not exercising or whatever, that all that crap that goes on when you look at yourself and you say you're fat. But so when I was talking about that, I was talking about what the damages I've done to my body and my relationship with my body. Because I'm in judgment. I'm not accepting my body the way it is. I'm looking at it to just see the wrongness of it.
True.
Yeah.
You know.
So what if
And
I
then-
could put it a little differently?
Yeah.
In the sense that the body is in itself an entity, right? The body is basically trying to communicate to you. It's been designed as a tool to communicate to you, to contribute to you, all the things that you as a being would not be able to become aware of if your body wasn't there,
Yeah.
right? So what if your body, being the way it is, was a gift in the sense that it was communicating with you, it was being the gift to you in ways which are beyond cognitive comprehension. And when you start judging your body in terms of what an ideal body should be, then would you be actually looking at the awareness that your body is giving you, or would you be judging it so much because it is not what you expect it to be, which is not even your standard of judgment? And then would you actually be separating yourself from your body, like how Renu was saying, divorcing yourself from your body? Or would you actually be in awareness of what it was gifting you as awareness, as whatever, in whichever way it could give to you, which is even beyond any words right now. Yes. Renu would
Coming out for me was my body actually reaching out for me.
Yeah.
And I'm not taking that hand because I'm judging it.
Yeah. And it's so beautiful. Like the body wouldn't leave you even considering the ways
I've been judging it, yeah.
judging it, treating it, just because there's a stupid ideal somewhere which we don't even know when we bought, this lifetime or another lifetime, but that is the ideal for beauty, that is the ideal for perfection. And we what stupidity am I using? What stupidity am I using to uphold the standards of judgment that are maintaining and sustaining the utopian ideals that are so not working for me at all?
Yeah.
And everything that is, will you destroy and create all?
Yeah.
Right, wrong, good, bad, POD, POC, online shows, boys and beyonds. And what if instead we could choose to be and allow our bodies to be the gifts that they truly be? And what if I gave my body the gift of allowance of choosing to be the way it wanted to be and be in total allowance of it?
Yeah.
And everything that is not allowed, that let's just try and create all.
Yes.
Yeah.
Right, wrong, good, bad, POD, POC, online shows, boys and beyonds.
There was a clearing I also wrote for myself. So what would it take for you to break apart from the many illusions and images of you that you have created to present the perfect picture that is accepted by this reality? And wherever I'm going into creating those illusions and images just to fit in, just to be the correct picture, I destroy and would you all like to destroy and uncreate that for me as well as for yourself, please?
Yep.
Right, wrong, good, bad, POC, POD, all 9 shots, boys and beyond.
And even if you're not creating them, even if you're just buying into them, whereas it's other people's creations, and even they are like people you don't even know who came from a place that doesn't even exist. And how cool is that?
I know.
Like you're buying into points of view of people who came from a place that doesn't exist.
Yeah. Like today, Shweta and I were talking about the book in the afternoon, and I was just telling her, what came into my head was, this all these Tibetans who are living in India, they have this conceptual construct in their heads that they are eventually going to go back to their land, which might never happen, which just might never happen, and they're living at a threshold of dreaming about going back. There are generations who spend time, their lives over here in this part of the world or some other part of the world, but because there is an utopian construct that their community has built or their country has built, that they do need to go back, they are going to go back. So how much do we keep on hold, waiting, just so that we need to achieve the right picture, the right thing? It's like not living in 10 seconds increment at all.
Yeah, the right, good, perfect. So how have you, like, that's what he says, that how have you been taught to look at your life and reality? Is it like from a choice of 10 seconds, or is it from the right and the wrong, or the good and the bad, or this should be done or that should not be done? And how much of that are we still following rather than being totally aware of choosing what works for me? Like, if you look back, and even now, I think even after so much of awareness showing up, there are times when I feel stuck, when I feel this is not what I was asking for. Why can't I move beyond it? What is it that that is not allowing this to shift and change? Whether it's a business, whether it's a project, whether it's a family relationship, there are certain areas which feel stuck. And like, while I was reading this, so much showed up in terms of relationship, of what I've bought from my parents of what an ideal marriage should be, without it ever being spoken out aloud. So we have talked a lot about, and yeah, they say that 99% of the thoughts, feelings, emotions, like, you won't have that, right? Not ours. That one. So all of that, and then buying into what the media is selling us. And after that, what are we passing on to the future generation also? So coming back to what is it? Would you like, any of you would like to talk about what do you think makes you feel trapped, or what is it that you think you don't have, or what is any ideal construct that is showing up for you right now that you think is not allowing you to choose beyond, or anything that you've been thinking of or planning, or a business project, or a relationship, or anything which is not moving forward, which has that stuck energy to it? Would anyone like to talk about it? Anything like that is showing up for you?
I think growth of my business has been for me.
Okay.
That's also like this kind of listening to you right now, and even listening to quite a few of the other. I don't know what I heard last night was, who it was, I don't remember. They're also having some class on whatever, I don't remember that. But usme bhi tha ki whatever we decided, that it should be either, like, you know how black and white, if this option or this option, like mote ya patle, achhe ya bure, kind of everything is a black and white choice.
Yeah.
And why can't we just let it be and be in question and say, very beautiful question she'd put up there. I don't remember the exact word, but it was something like, what is in this for me, that is the best for me now.
Mm-hmm.
Again,
Yeah.
best sometimes in my head feels like we're again judging it from some perspective. We're saying best and worst or whatever. These are all
What would be
verbiage.
a contribution? Instead of saying the best, what would be a contribution now that I could see?
Yeah, so I feel like that's been it. And I've personally kind of just reading and listening and going through all this interaction makes me feel like you're also going, I'm giving the right kind of energy to the kids or the people around. Because it's like, पहले जैसे कोई चीज, जैसे I have kids, they're so irritating at times, they're lovely at times, but कई बार ये होगा ना, वो एक ही बच्चा वो नाक में उंगली डालता रहेगा, तो अब नाक में उंगली डालने के लिए कितनी बारी प्यार से और हंस के बोलोगे? कभी खींच आ जाती है, बिकॉज वो फिर वही वाली उंगली तुम पे लगा देता है या पेपर पे लगा देगा काम करते हुए. So कहीं ना कहीं you lose it, like you're like, what the heck is it? So but now I look at him and I start laughing and I'm like, इसने तो यही करना है. So let's laugh with it. What's the point of killing myself in thinking कि it has to be like उसको टिश्यू ही उठाना है, उसी पे से नाक पोंछनी, उसको नहीं पोंछनी, उसने ऐसे ही करना है.
In the tissue, you stop doing.
Means very small things. You know how it is, like work or even your own kids, they bug you for the smallest of things. Body issues, you know, like you're very grounded. अब मुझे बहुत ऐसे करके बात करनी है. You kind of prepare yourself. These unexpected curveballs, you don't know what to do. But then I feel like it's helped me calm myself down, or whatever the verbiage is, to look at it with just the way it is.
So can I ask you a question?
Sure.
What have you decided the right good perfect mother or the right good perfect teacher should be like?
पता नहीं, वो नहीं मुझे मैंने कभी वो डिसाइड ही नहीं किया, बट कहीं से आ गया है वो कि ऐसे होना चाहिए मेरे लिए. The image what I've decided, Shweta, which is locked in my head, is that your success is you are judged for your success based on how either well known you are or how much you are drumming into the bank.
Drumming into
Good your children are.
Huh?
Perfect your children are.
I love the image of drumming into the bank.
हाँ, मतलब तुम कितने पैसे कमा रहे हो, एज सिंपल एज दैट. लोग आके तुमसे पूछेंगे तुम्हारे कितने कितने बच्चे एनरोल किए हुए हैं. अरे बैलेंस शीट ही ले जाओ, आप ही बता दो कितने कमा रही हो.
Relate to that.
You know how things like that, people want to know कि तुम पैसा कितना कमा रही हो. Your, like I've had conversations in my house where people have come and told me, you can go and do this if you're making a 6-figure salary. उनको लगता है कि जो मैं कर रही हूँ उसमें 6-figure सैलरी नहीं है. तो एक को तो मैंने एकदम आराम से बहुत प्यार से शट अप कराया था. आई सेड आई एम मेकिंग ओवर 6 figures. अब आगे बोल, अब आगे तुझे क्या मुझे बता, व्हाट एल्स शुड आई बी बाइंग वाली थिंग. बट समवेयर आई फील दैट जजमेंट कीप्स coming and coming and coming and coming, and मेरे को लगता है I've kind of absorbed so much of it कि मुझे बना I need to break free. You know how it's like वो जो I'm very filmy in my expression, वो जैसे जेल की बेड़ियां नहीं होती हैं पूरी बाजी ना मस्तानी. And you want to crack.
Okay, let's look at what do you think you don't have that you would have liked to have right now in this particular scene. What are the things that are the ideal for success that you have? So there are two things that you talked about. One was you specifically mentioned the word image in respect to the images that you have of success and the success part. So what are your so again, I'm not saying that you heard it from somewhere or you made it an ideal. Let's not even use the word ideal, but what do you think what does success mean to you? Let's put it like that.
Power.
So and
power, actually. I
all
love
right.
it.
All right. So what does power mean to you?
मतलब मैं जाऊं और सब झुक जाए ऐसे वाली फीलिंग.
All right. So what does that mean to you?
What did you get the energy for that? What did you get in the money? You just need the energy for that.
Okay.
Be the energy for that.
No, sorry. One sec. So what is it that you don't have? You think you don't have right now that if you had it, that would get created?
Being diplomatically correct.
And what does that mean?
मतलब not to be मुफट. मतलब किसी को बुरा है उसके मुंह पे बुरा नहीं बोलो आप तो बहुत अच्छे हो, मतलब प्यार से गाली दो. मेरे में नहीं है वो ability.
Where does that come from?
वो नहीं है मेरे. That is again that I'm just telling you all these things exist around me. बिल्कुल प्यार से बोलो. ऐसे मत उसको गलत मत बोलो, वो गलत नहीं हो सकता. I can't do this. You are bad. You're bad. That's it. हटो यहाँ से.
You slapped that kid, right? Yeah, what did she say?
You're bad.
So, but what if you could use that to your advantage?
What did she say?
ऐसे मेरा मन होता है कि अब नहीं अच्छे तो आप हटो.
नहीं अच्छी तरह तो
हटो.
Get lost. That's right.
That's exactly
सांच को आंच नहीं कहते थे ना.
All right. So what if you could do that? Would that make you feel powerful?
अभी तो ऐसा ही लगता है.
Okay. So,
Maybe when I have it, कुछ और चीज. I don't hope I create anything like whatever. I don't know. Anyway.
Right. So let's just talk about if you were able to do it. If nobody told you that you're not supposed to do it, if you could slap that kid. I'm not saying go do it. Okay. I'm saying if you could tell him to stop in a way that you've never done before. If you could tell that person abe hat the way you would want to tell him, would that make you feel powerful the way you were just mentioning power? Would that shift, get the energy of that? Would that shift the energy
But
that
that
you're
gets fear.
huh?
That gets you fear. कि
That
वो चला जाएगा.
Fearful, you can become fearful then.
Become
okay,
fearful of that ना कि
okay,
फिर
but
वो
okay, so what? So what's going to happen?
चले जाएंगे तुम्हारी लाइफ से.
So what?
तुम्हें पसंद नहीं करेंगे, तुम्हारे बारे में बुरा बोलेंगे, कुछ भी. You know how that nonsense generates.
Yeah, but then what if you were willing to lose them all?
I'm trying to lose them all these days. I do it every night.
Trying means I'm not going to do it.
Okay. Okay, try means I'm not going to do it.
It's not happening. It's just that. So he also talks about, there's a beautiful thing he says. He says that there was this 13-year-old girl who kept coming to my classes, Gary says. And he says, remember he talks about a kid who says, can't you do some classes for kids because these adults don't get it, they're too slow. Have you heard him say that?
No.
So he said, there was this kid who asked me, okay, please, can you create some classes for kids because these adults are too slow. So she was that kid who had been coming to his classes since she was 5, okay? So 8 years of doing his classes, and he says, why do you want me to do classes for kids? And she's like, they're so slow. They're like, every year they'll come and they'll say, they'll repeat the same thing. When they'll say, I'm making a choice, and then they'll go back and unchoose it. And then again they'll come the next year, they'll ask the same question, and she says, I don't get it. You either choose it or you don't choose it. It's not like you're trying is like you're like choosing and then you're unchoosing and then you're choosing and then it's like that. Yeah?
Yeah.
So what if you just chose it? All right, I'm going to be me, whatever it takes. So that brings us to the part of you. Thank you for the question, Arinku. Are you willing to commit to being you, whatever that looks like? Are you willing to say, I am willing to be me, whatever that looks like? I don't know what that's going to look like, but I'm willing to make a commitment to be me, whatever it takes, whoever I lose, whatever it shows up as. I am willing to honor me and do and choose to be me in every 10 seconds. Are you willing to make that commitment? Whatever that looks like, whoever goes away, whoever you lose, now that's not light energy. That's not power, right? That giggling is not power at all, right? See the advantage of being online with your face on.
We could never see that lovely smile earlier.
Yeah, you have more fun, baby.
Yeah.
So what did it take? Hello, Gunjan.
Hi, Gunjan.
So what would it take for you to show up as you? Whatever it takes to have that commitment, to have that honor and respect for you. Doesn't matter who the hell walks away. And it can be anything. It can be kindness in 10 seconds. It can be being really harsh in another 10 seconds. And it can be, again, being kind in the next 10 seconds. It can be you choosing whatever energy, space, and consciousness you need to choose to be to see how you can manipulate that situation to your advantage. So what if you ask that question with that kid? Okay, what is he willing to hear that if I said it would stop him from putting that finger in his nose right away? Instead of going into, ye to sunta hi nahi hai. We tend to get into that pattern of, this is not working, so let's walk away. That is not making a choice. That is walking away. We were talking in distracted and plants. It's a reaction. It's not a true choice of possibility.
Okay.
So what if we could ask that question of, okay, what is this person willing to hear that would give me the result that I'm asking for? Yeah. What do I say?
Presence of mind nahi hoti hai us time.
Hanji?
So presence of mind nahi hoti hai us time. So you keep working on it till you have the presence of mind.
Yeah, you keep running the clearings, you keep running the loops.
Then probably you would be power. Remember in that money book is written, I am power, I am money, I am joy, whatever.
Yeah.
So then when you are going to function from from what Shweta is saying, that if I could ask that question there, then you will be power. and that power doesn't necessarily mean that you have to shut up a person or set that person away. The power could be.
Is that image of power the utopian ideal of what power should look like? Be like. You could be power, like how Kaval was saying, that you could be the energy of power without even having to utter a word. Have you noticed people who could just walk into a room and everybody around them would keep quiet? That is power. So like imagine Amitabh Bachchan, if he walks into a room, would anyone have the, see that? And also that is the persona that he talks about, that is not image, how we learn to do image of if I'm a teacher, then I have to look like this, I have to behave like this. If I have a body, it has to look like this, only then it'll fit, like Renu was saying, it only then it'll fit into this reality of perfection and beauty. Gunjan is saying she cannot hear anything. Would you be able to see to that, please?
She's just away for a minute. She'll just come back. She'll just do
All
that.
right.
Or a phone.
Okay. So, it seems fine here. I wonder what it is.
I can't even see her mic, but everyone else has a mic. She doesn't have a mic. She's just on. Maybe there's
Gunjan, can you check your audio settings, please? Just check your audio settings.
to figure out her audio
Need to type. देख ही नहीं रहा है, सुन नहीं रहा है.
So what if we were talking about persona and image? Like what if we could do persona instead of image? So image is again something like an ideal that we've created or have bought into from this reality of what I should look like, I should be like, I should dress like, I should talk like. Like how we did this clowning workshop in the last week. That is, it's like so vulnerable. And it's like once you put on that nose, it's like you have the freedom to be you. It doesn't matter. What if I could do that without the nose? That is true vulnerability. And if I'm willing to be that, be the persona that I am, then I can create the power, the creation. Like what if you being that power of persona, of being you?
Okay.
What does that look like to you? See that? And now if you chose to create from here, what would you create? As a new business, as a new venture, as expansion of your business? And what if also, how many utopian ideals of what businesses do we have that does not allow us to create greater, about how women can't do business better than men, about what business should look like, how much you should put in, how much should come back, what is 6 figures, what is 7 figures, what is more than that, what is less than that, who's successful, all of that. How many utopian ideals are holding and locking all of that in place that is not allowing you to actually expand and move forward? Everything that is what you're just trying to create all.
Yes, please.
Right on with that, Podpak Online Shows, Boys and Beyonds. And what if I could introduce again here, I'm sure you've heard about it, the tool of 50-50 with your creations, rather than making it the ideal business or the ideal success. What if you could talk to your creations and ask them to contribute to you in a way that never been possible before? Like in the sense, all right, business, what would you like? What action steps could I take here that would create you as greater than ever?
Okay.
So what if you could be 50-50 with your, like in partnership with your business, and treated it as an entity of its own?
Okay.
Right? Rather than focusing from what an ideal businesswoman should be like, how many ideals of business, success, money, creation do you have that is actually not allowing you to create way beyond anything anyone ever created on planet Earth? And everything that is really destroy and create all.
Yes.
Right or wrong, good, bad, Podpak Online Shows, Boys and Beyonds. What energy, space, and consciousness can you be to acknowledge and own the gift of joy, of creation, of possibility that you truly be, only if you chose to be you in every 10 seconds with total ease? And everything that does not allow that to show up would totally ease. Will you just try and create all?
Yep.
Yes.
Right or wrong, good, bad, Podpak Online Shorts, Boys and Beyond.
And also, what he's written in the book was really nice about a few well-known personalities in the world. He spoke about Oprah Winfrey, that at one time she was just persona. You know,
Yeah.
she was creating so much because she was persona. But the moment she got stuck with the image that the world had created about her, that she herself created about herself, that she just didn't remain that sort of a power or entity for the world that she
Yeah.
was. So there, he's given an example of a few figures, a few well-known personalities, and it's so true that when I am just being the persona I am with the children I work with, I come to know that I am not working from the image that I want to create, because children will immediately see through
The image.
what they think is the true picture or what they think is not the true picture, because they don't have many constructs on their heads. They don't
Yeah.
have many things that have been conceptualized for them, and they haven't created barriers or constructs for them to work from. So I can easily get back to my persona when I'm working with children,
Or when you're singing,
because
or when you're writing.
they can actually see through that. So
And they pull you back. The energy kind of draws you back into
in
what it is to be truly you.
truly you, yeah. So what would it take for me to be truly me? Whether I'm working with children or whether I'm being with myself or whether I'm being with other people or my other businesses, uh, because I know that I create more when I create from my persona and not from my image.
Yeah.
So what would it take for me to be able to create more from the persona that I am, the gift that I am, instead of trying to fit into what this reality wants, fit into what power is, what more money is, what more classes are, what more success is in this reality, in the success that this reality has taught us is. And
Yeah.
anything and everything that does not allow me to be that, or all of us to be that, would you like to destroy and uncreate that right
Yes,
now?
please.
Right, wrong, good, bad, pop, pod, all nine shorts, boys and beyond. Thank you.
Cool. So can I end this call with the last paragraph of one of the chapters, which is also a fantastic clearing. So he says that it is how many illusions of who you are have you created
Yeah.
in order to buy the idea that the illusion you created is the real you. So you won't have to see the real you. That wouldn't match the illusion you've created of you. That would be something that you might not be able to control as well as the illusion. Everything that brings up for all of us will we destroy and uncreate it all. Right, wrong, good, bad, pot, poc, online shows, boys and beyond. Let me run it a couple of times. How many illusions of who you are have you created in order to buy the idea that the illusion you created is the real you? So you won't have to see the real you. That wouldn't match the illusion you've created of you. That would be something that you might not be able to control as well as the illusion. And everything that is will you destroy and create all.
Mm-hmm.
Right, wrong, good, bad, pot, poc, online shows, boys and beyond. So how many illusions of who you are have you created in order to buy the idea that the illusion you created is the real you? So you won't have to see the real you. That wouldn't match the illusion you've created of you. That would be something that you might not be able to control as well as the illusion. Everything that is and everything that brings out will you destroy and create all.
Yep.
Yes, please.
Right or wrong, good and bad, pot and poc, online shows, boys and beyond. So all of the illusions, please let go of and choose to be you. So thank you guys for being on the call. And we have, I think the program is, I think, or I'm aware, I don't know. I've been talking to this program, and by evening it had shifted to a 7-week program instead of a month-long program, in which we would be having weekly calls covering each of the 7 chapters, because this book is the result of a 7-day event, and that kind of clicked with me the moment I said, oh, 7 weeks was like, and it's way beyond us being able to cover it in 1 week. It's like this one call hasn't even covered one chapter.
Yeah.
So you can imagine, like, if we're trying to do one chapter 1 week, and the calls might be longer than an hour and a half. I don't know what that's going to show up as. But right now it's showing up as a 7-week program, which we start with either right away as a group or next Monday.
20th May.
If you guys are willing to choose it, or if you know of people who could benefit from this, we would be very grateful to contribute, and we could have too much fun, way too much fun. And what else is possible?
Thank you
So
so
thank you guys. And if there are any more questions, you could email them to us or WhatsApp them to us, and we would be happy to respond. Thank you so much.
so
for
much.
being
Thank you so much for the energy you guys are, for being there.
Hope this call contributes to you in ways you never thought possible. Bye-bye.
Bye.
I love you guys. Thanks a lot.
Thank you.